Hello again, chaps and chapettes. How are we all doing? It's lovely to see you all again as always. So, according to Sky News, these gender affirming clinics, I think they're called, these hellish cesspits, have finally been banned from prescribing puberty blockers to children. Salvation. Hallelujah. After years of people banging their head against a brick wall trying to tell these people how unethical this practice is, they finally decide to stop it. Is sanity returning to this country at long last? I'm not holding my breath, to be honest, guys, even after this little piece of news. So, Sky News say on the subject here, children will no longer be prescribed puberty blockers at gender identity clinics. Gender identity clinics, that's what they're called, is it? I'm sure that's what the witch in the woods called the house to entice Hansel and Gretel inside. NHS England has confirmed puberty blockers, which pause physical changes of puberty such as breast development and facial hair, will now only be available to children as part of clinical research trials. Now this little bit there, that worries me slightly, guys. Clinical trials, I hope it's got something to do with a condition that some kids do get where they go through puberty at too much of a young age. You know, they start developing physically but right before their time. That gets medicated. I'm hoping it's something to do with that. Otherwise, these things need to be binned, scrapped completely. The government said it welcomed the landmark decision, adding it would help ensure care is based on evidence and is the best interest of the child. It follows a public excuse me guys, Joe Biden moment. It follows a public consultation on the issue and an interim policy, and comes after NHS England commissioned an independent review of gender identity services for children under 18 in 2020. The review followed a sharp rise in referrals to the Gender Identity Development Service. Wow, I wonder why the hell that is. Why has there been such a sharp intake to these places? I'll tell you why. Indoctrination. It is bloody everywhere. It is in books, it is in magazines, it is on television shows, it's taught in schools. It's now deemed cool to identify as asexual, pansexual, trans, identifying as a different sex that you're born into. When I was growing up, what was deemed fashionable was a pair of Rockport boots, a pair of Nike Air Max, a pair of Reebok Classics, the latest tracksuit bottoms. If I was growing up now, what would be deemed as fashionable would be me walking around in a polka dot dress wearing high heels. Absolute madness. They wonder why there's such a massive rise in referrals. They know damn well why, because they're working towards it, if you ask me personally. A specialised service for young people who experience difficulties in development of their gender identity, run by the Tavistock. Oh, Jesus God, that Tavistock. What an abattoir that place was. And Portman NHS Trust, which is closing at the end of March following repeated scrutiny. Yes. So, guys, this is a small step in the right direction, granted, but it's one small step. There's still a long way to go to keep our children safe from this nonsense. That's the nicest way I can possibly put it. There's still surgeons out there who will give young girls double mastectomies without a moment's thought at all. No medical intervention, no psychological intervention, nothing. Like that Tavistock place, they had young kids going in there on a conveyor belt. You could see them coming out as soon as they went in, one after the other. That's why it receives so much scrutiny, and that's why it's closing down. The best course of action for people to take is to keep scrutinising, keep making your thoughts heard, keep sending tweets, keep @ing NHS trusts on Twitter, because believe me, it does work. You may not think it does, but it does. The power of the voice, the power of the people always does work. The only thing that maybe doesn't work is voting. I don't really think that works, because in the immortal words of Mark Twain, if voting made any difference, they wouldn't allow us to do it in the first place. And that's very, very true. So yeah, this is a win, guys. It's a small win, but it's a win, and I'm willing to take it. Let's hope there are a few more wins along the way down the years, because this whole fiasco needs to stop. Once you're over 18, well, no, actually, over 21, I think he should be. Because at 18, you're still very much immature. I didn't know what I wanted to do or what I wanted to be at 18. I still don't really know now at 40. So it should be 21. That's when your brain is starting to fully develop. Do what you want with your body. Cut things off, put things on, fill your boots. But under 18, leave them alone. Simple as that. That's me, guys. Thanks very much for watching as always, and I'll see you again in the next one. Cheers.